Hi everybody, it's Ginger with Marvelous Mouse Travels, and today I'm going to rank the top 5 Disney World restaurants that I ate at in 2018. Now just to clarify, I'm not saying that the 5 restaurants we're talking about today are the 5 best restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. They're just the 5 best that we ate at in the calendar year of 2018.
Here are my top 5 restaurants for 2018 in alphabetical order. To come up with this list, I rated all of the restaurants I ate at in Disney World this year according to 4 different categories: location, atmosphere, value, and taste. We're going to talk about each of these 5 restaurants in turn, and at the end, I'll reveal which was my least favorite and which is the restaurant I want to eat at again and again. First, let's talk about 1900 Park Fare. 1900 Park Fare is located in the Grand Floridian, which is right on the Magic Kingdom monorail line, giving it pretty great marks for location. It's a wonderful place to have breakfast before heading to the Magic Kingdom, but also a really nice place to escape the theme parks for a little while and sit down to a nice lunch or dinner. 1900 Park Fare offers 2 different character meals. The Supercalifragilistic breakfast, of course, features Mary Poppins, but also other characters like Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter, Tigger, and Winnie the Pooh. The Cinderella's Happily Ever After dinner is featured for both dinner but also lunch, and allows you to meet Cinderella, Prince Charming, Cinderella's stepmother, and her stepsisters. This was the character meal that we attended back in May of this year, and it had a lot of great features to recommend it. I consider the characters to be part of the overall atmosphere of a restaurant, and the character interactions at 1900 Park Fare really couldn't have been much better. Cinderella is an iconic Disney princess, and getting the opportunity to have a conversation with her while you're eating dinner is really special, and in my opinion, pretty worth the money. In terms of the overall feel of the restaurant itself, 1900 Park Fare leaves a little bit to be desired. There's no natural light, which can make it feel a little bit closed in at times. And even though the decor is in keeping with the Victorian feel of the Grand Floridian, it lacks that wow factor that you expect from Disney. There are a lot of factors that go into deciding whether or not a character meal is a good value, because admittedly, character meals can be pretty expensive. However, at Disney World, time is of the essence. You want to be able to pack as much Disney magic into your vacation as possible, and character meals give you a great opportunity to do that. You get to interact with multiple characters while you're doing something that you have to do anyway: eat. 1900 Park Fare is a buffet-style meal, meaning that you can go back for seconds, thirds, fourths, really as many times as you want. Depending on what you eat off the buffet and how much you eat of it, you can make 1900 Park Fare a pretty great value, particularly if you're on the Disney dining plan. Character meals, especially character dinners, are a great way to maximize the value of your dining plan credits. In terms of the taste of the food at 1900 Park Fare, it really wasn't anything to write home about. I'm not saying it was bad. In fact, some of the entrees and most of the desserts were really quite good, but it was standard buffet fare and not really something that I'd want to experience again if it weren't for the characters. Overall, 1900 Park Fare is a solid choice for those who want to experience rare character interactions like Prince Charming or Lady Tremaine, but also for those who want to experience a character meal outside the theme parks. And its proximity to Magic Kingdom definitely adds to the appeal. In my opinion, Beaches and Cream is one of Disney World's hidden gems. In fact, if you've never stayed at or explored the Epcot area resorts, you may not even know that it's there. Beaches and Cream is a soda shop located in Disney's Beach Club Resort, meaning that it steps away from Epcot and about a 10 to 15 minute walk away from Hollywood Studios. Beaches and Cream is admittedly a little off the beaten path for those who aren't staying in one of the Epcot area resorts. However, that can honestly be part of the appeal, and one of the reasons why dining reservations for Beaches and Cream can actually be pretty hard to come by. People return to this location again and again because it's a great place to have a delicious meal outside the hustle and bustle of the theme parks. Another reason why reservations for Beaches and Cream can be kind of hard to come by is that Beaches and Cream is pretty small. In fact, really, really small. Honestly, though, that's part of the charm. It's themed after a 1950s soda shop, complete with a jukebox and other nods to a bygone era. But it's small, just like soda shops were, and so there aren't a lot of tables, there's not a lot of room to move around, and it fills up really quickly. All that said, though, the atmosphere is fun, and it makes it one of my favorite places to eat in all of Walt Disney World. In my opinion, the value for what you're getting at Beaches and Cream is actually pretty great. The entrees are large enough to share. In fact, when we were last there in October, my husband and I split the patty melt, and it was plenty of food. By the time we paid for our meal, our children's meals, and a dessert, we were eating a table service meal at Disney World for less than $40, which is pretty great. In terms of the taste of the food at Beaches and Cream, honestly, I've never had anything there that I didn't think was good. The entrees are good and the desserts are good, so this is a solid option in terms of taste. To sum up, there's a lot to love about Beaches and Cream. It has a fun atmosphere, great food, and it's at the Beach Club, which is one of the prettiest resorts in Disney World. So next time you're going to be in Disney World, consider checking out Beaches and Cream. Just make sure you make that dining reservation, or better yet, get your travel agent to make that dining reservation 180 days in advance. Now let's talk about Captain Cook's. Captain Cook's is the only quick service location that's in my top 5, which honestly says a lot for the quality of the food here. Captain Cook's is the quick service location at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, which is also on the Magic Kingdom monorail line. Even though Captain Cook's lacks the theming and character interactions of some of the other restaurants we've talked about, there's a lot of natural light and ample outdoor seating with great views of the pool. Since Captain Cook's is a quick service location, it's at a much more comfortable price point than the table service locations on this list. Also, there's a lot of food that you're given for the price that you pay. I ordered the pork fried rice, and honestly, there was so much of it that I couldn't even begin to finish the whole thing. In fact, my husband and I probably could have split that entree and still not finished it all. I thought my pork fried rice was delicious, and my husband ordered the Aloha pork sandwich, which he said was as good as some of the table service meals he's enjoyed at Disney World. My kids split a pepperoni flatbread, which just tasted like your standard pepperoni pizza. All total, all 4 of us ate dinner for around $30. Captain Cook's is a great place to eat if you want to experience the beauty and atmosphere of the Polynesian Village Resort without having to make an advanced dining reservation. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, then you might know that the Polynesian is actually my favorite resort at Disney, which is probably why 2 of the restaurants in this top 5 list are located there. Ohana is one of the most iconic restaurants at Disney World, and one of the most highly sought after advanced dining reservations that there is. And there are so many reasons for this. Ohana is in a fantastic location, just minutes from the Magic Kingdom, and in fact, many of the tables inside this restaurant have a view of Cinderella Castle. In the mornings, Ohana offers a character breakfast where you have the opportunity to meet Mickey Mouse, Pluto, Lilo, and Stitch. We enjoyed the Best Friends character breakfast when we were in Disney World back in May, and it was one of our favorite character meals that we have ever done at Walt Disney World. The atmosphere at Ohana is awesome. The restaurant is highly themed, and with the view of Cinderella Castle right out the window, it has that Disney wow factor that you look for when you're at Walt Disney World. Add to that the fact that there's tons of natural light, and you just have a very enjoyable place to sit down and have a meal. And since the characters are part of the overall atmosphere of a character meal, I have to say that any chance I get to meet Mickey Mouse is going to get top marks from me in terms of atmosphere. The value of the Best Friends character breakfast really depends on whether or not you're on the Disney dining plan. If you're on the Disney dining plan, it's always going to be a better option to use your table service credits for character dinners rather than character breakfasts, simply because character breakfasts are less expensive and you wouldn't be maximizing the value of your Disney dining plan dollars by using your credits on a character breakfast. But if you're paying for your character breakfast out of pocket, then Ohana can be a really great value for you. Character breakfasts give you an awesome character interaction for less money than a character dinner. And Ohana in particular is a great value because the food is served family style. That means that it comes out to your table hot and fresh, yet you can ask for seconds if you'd like. And you're probably gonna want to ask for seconds at Ohana because the food is really, really good. Even though Ohana is only a character meal at breakfast, it's also an incredible restaurant for lunch and dinner. The food at Ohana is famous among Disney fans, and so it's worth checking this restaurant out no matter what meal you're going for. The last restaurant that we'll be talking about today is Trattoria Al Forno. Trattoria Al Forno is located on Disney's Boardwalk, just steps away from Epcot and about a 5 to 10 minute walk away from Disney's Hollywood Studios. But the Boardwalk is a destination in its own right. It's a great place to go for dining, shopping, and entertainment, and Trattoria Al Forno is right in the middle of all of that. For lunch and dinner, Trattoria Al Forno is a traditional Italian restaurant, but at breakfast it's a character meal with an Italian flavor. In spring of 2018, we took part in the Bon Voyage Adventure Breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno, and we had a great experience meeting Princess Ariel, Prince Eric, Rapunzel, and Flynn Rider. I have very mixed emotions when it comes to rating the atmosphere of Trattoria Al Forno, because I do consider the characters to be part of the overall atmosphere, and our character interactions here were great. In fact, Ariel is my favorite princess, and not only did I get to meet her, but I got to meet Prince Eric and Flynn Rider, which is a pretty rare character greet opportunity. But the decor of the restaurant itself just isn't anything special. It looks like a traditional Italian restaurant because for most of the day, that's exactly what it is. But as a princess meal, it lacks the Disney wow factor that you get at Cinderella's Royal Table or Akershus Royal Banquet Hall, or even the grandeur of the Cinderella's Happily Ever After dinner at the Grand Floridian. I don't think that the Bon Voyage Adventure Breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno is as good of a value as the Best Friends Breakfast at Ohana, and that's simply because the food here isn't served buffet style or family style. It's served a la carte, so you pay quite a bit of money for just one entree. That said, the entrees here are actually pretty good. In fact, because Trattoria Al Forno is an Italian restaurant for most of the day, the breakfast foods that you're enjoying at the Bon Voyage Adventure Breakfast are not your standard Disney breakfast fare. They're a unique fusion of Italian and American cuisine. I ordered the frittata, which was one of the better breakfast entrees I've ever enjoyed at Disney World. And even though it was only one entree for the price, the portion size was generous and I couldn't finish the whole thing on my own. My husband ordered the Tower of Pancakes, and he said that they were just average pancakes. He didn't think they were great, but he also didn't think they were bad. Before our entrees came out, we were given a frying pan filled with pastries to share, and all of those were delicious. We also really enjoyed the mixed fruit that we were given. All in all, the Bon Voyage Adventure Breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno can be a good option for people who want to enjoy a princess meal outside the theme parks and who maybe want a little bit more laid-back experience than what you'll find at Cinderella's Royal Table or Akershus Royal Banquet Hall. So after considering everything that we just talked about, here are the final rankings for my top 5 restaurants in Disney World from 2018. As you can see, Ohana came out on top. I really enjoyed this character breakfast, not because of just the characters themselves, but also because of the taste of the food and the overall atmosphere of the restaurant. In fact, you can see that Ohana gets 10 out of 10 for atmosphere and 9 out of 10 for location, and that's simply because it's not actually inside one of the theme parks. Ohana also gets a 10 out of 10 for taste and an 8 out of 10 for value, giving it a combined average of 9.25. Beaches and Cream comes in second with an overall average of 8.75. It gets a 7 out of 10 for location, simply because it is a bit off the beaten path. And it gets a 9 out of 10 for atmosphere, because I love the fun atmosphere, but it is a little bit small and can feel slightly cramped. The Bon Voyage Adventure Breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno comes in third with an overall average of 7.25. Now you'll notice that 1900 Park Fare in Trattoria Al Forno actually tied with a 7.25, but I gave the edge to Trattoria Al Forno simply because I thought the food tasted better, and that's a big part of choosing any restaurant. The value of Trattoria Al Forno ranked at a 5 out of 10 simply because it isn't a family style or buffet meal, and therefore you're getting less food for what you're paying. In fact, the face-off between 1900 Park Fare and Trattoria Al Forno really comes down to whether or not value or taste is more important to you. That's one of the reasons why I love Ohana so much. I didn't feel like I had to compromise taste to get great value. Coming in last is Captain Cook's. And not because this was a bad meal, but simply because as a quick service restaurant, Captain Cook's lacks some of the atmosphere and even some of the value that makes the table service and character meals so special. In fact, it only cost about $10 to $15 less for us to eat at Captain Cook's than it did for us to eat at Beaches and Cream, which is a table service restaurant. Now you'll notice that Ohana and Captain Cook's, which are both located at the Polynesian, got different marks for location, and that's simply because Captain Cook's is on the first floor and Ohana is on the second floor, so Captain Cook's lacks that iconic view of Cinderella Castle that you get when you're inside Ohana. At the end of the day, all of these restaurants have their pros and cons, and a lot of factors go into making the decision of whether or not they would enhance your vacation experience when you're at Disney World. I enjoyed all 5 of these meals in different ways, and I don't hesitate to recommend any of them. Well, there you have my 5 favorite restaurants that I've eaten at in Disney World in 2018. Thank you so much to all of you who have watched and subscribed to our channel over the past year, and thank you to all of you who have trusted me to help you plan marvelous vacations for your family. If you're thinking of taking a trip over the next year, don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email to see if I can help you plan a great trip. As always, I'm Ginger with Marvelous Mouse Travels. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful 2019.